So there's been a lot of backlash from the Bumble ads, discouraging women from celibacy as a choice. And
you can always tell time and capitalism by advertisements. Look at what's being sold to you. So Bumble has all of these new billboards condemning women for taking a break from the dating game. Here's one, you know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Same words, different ads. They're telling you, oh, we know the dating game is rigged, but you still have to play. 4B is working, ladies. Or whatever you want to call it. Women taking time, putting themselves first, decentering men is working. And all these companies that rely on using you as the product are scrambling trying to get you back in. Dating sites used to be free because you're the product. They're selling you to men without your consent. And then these companies got greedy for the same substandard men. They wanted to divide them into tiers and get you to pay to have access to them, because they said the reason you're not getting good enough matches, the reasons none of these dates are working out is because you're not paying to get access to the high value men, to the cream of the crop. And a lot of women were falling for that. But then women who had paid were generous enough to share their access and said, these are the same men. These are the same men I swiped left on for free. I said, no, I don't want them. And then you put them behind a paywall and try to give me the same garbage. We're still getting essayed. We're still getting lewd messages. We're still getting, pics of their eggplants that we never said we wanted. These men are crude. They are lascivious. We do not want them. But Bumble and Hinge, OkCupid, Tinder, you're the product. They need to be able to sell you. Otherwise, they're losing their market share. And so they're trying to shame women. They're trying to cajole women. It's no different than men. Instead of men improving, women have already told them what the issues are, but men are like, oh, well, you can't just write off all men. Some of you all are going to have to settle. Everybody's not going to get a good man. No, we already said you're not providing good men, so we're not participating. We're sitting by ourselves. We're improving our own lives. We're pouring into our friends and our families. And men are like, you can't do that. Apparently we can. And now the businesses are getting in on it because you are valuable, women. You have the labor everybody wants. You are the product, which means you control the supply. You're in demand. Continue to hold the line. We're on the verge of a major relationship realignment. Shout out to Hope Pedler. That's her original term. Men are going to have to change if you just continue to hold the line. Look at how desperate they're getting. We're talking about how men have been devolving. Look at the first dates of women who are still dating. When they come on here to this app, they're telling you men are negging them. Men are playing games. Men want you to chase them. Men are talking about drizzle. They are devolving. They are floundering because they've realized women are not acceding to the same conditions as before, and they are desperate to play some kind of game that's going to put you back in your place, and women are not falling for it. Continue to hold the line, ladies. Major change is just around the corner. And if you doubt my word, look at all the other videos from married women who are in green flag relationships. Check my content for those. What do those women say? I was doing something different. I had to wait longer than my friends to get married. I took an unusual path. And when I say wait longer, I mean longer in their lives, not longer into dating. But their men proposed right away. But because they weren't settling for the BS average men were dishing out, maybe they had to wait until they were in their late 30s or even 40s to marry. But once they married, it was a quality marriage with a wonderful man who loves and adores them and treats them well. When you're extraordinary, you can't do things like the ordinary. And I'm so happy women as a whole are choosing to level up and not accept below average treatment anymore. Continue to hold the line. It's working. People are investing their advertising dollars. People are taking their time on this app to try to shame you, to try to get you back into their place because they need your labor. Keep going. Like and follow for more.
Yo, Bumble, fuck you guys for real, because are you not aware that you can be a woman who dates males and is still celibate? Or did you just completely skip over that fact? Because right now, this feels like a campaign to encourage rapists. Essentially, what you're saying is, if a male takes us on a date and buys us a dinner, we owe him our body. And if we're celibate, that's not valid. You're delegitimizing our celibacy because you want males to have more access to our bodies. And then you think that we're gonna have a positive reaction to that? You must be out of your damn mind. The fact that y'all have the audacity to push this campaign when there is a literal femicide going on in Congo right now, where women are being kidnapped by the masses and essayed by the soldiers in front of their family members, okay? Women are having to watch their daughters get raped by soldiers, okay? Is that a concept that you guys thought about before you put out this stupid fucking brainless campaign? I would not be surprised to find out that before they pushed this campaign, they fired a bunch of women from the marketing department. I bet you anything this was a male's idea, and I bet you anything they had to get rid of certain women that worked in the marketing department to be able to push this campaign, because there's no way women signed off on this campaign, and if they did, I am incredibly disappointed in you. So I'm on my Bumble app right now, and I'm deleting my account, and this is my message to you. Your campaign delegitimizing celibacy is an absolute threat to women's safety, and I will not be using an app that encourages males to be so entitled to my body that they will not respect celibacy during the dating stage. Fuck you guys.
Just saw someone post about this new Bumble ad. I love how we're just skipping to the fucking point. Ladies, people of America, what you're doing is working and it's being noticed. You are a product being sold. And that is why I say it's either celibacy and not dealing with men at all, or it's dealing with people who can tangibly enrich your life. You have value in a sexual and dating marketplace. And a lot of people are going to hear me say that and think that I'm equating you assigning women value in a sexual and dating marketplace to them being a transactional thing or being a product to be sold. But at the end of the day, that's the way it is. So opt out. I'm all for everyone opting out. But if you must participate, make sure that you are getting more from that situation, more from dating than just promises, lies, and dick. Okay? I tagged the person who posted the original photo series below. You are valuable. Like it or not, when you start opting out, the whole world is going to fall the fuck apart. Don't ever forget that. But just to reiterate, I think celibacy is the answer. Where we're at now, with the rights being rolled back, with everything, celibacy is the answer.
I've heard a lot of women, well, not a lot, but I've heard a few women discuss for the last couple of years and recently that the market, the fact that women, the thing that sets women as the prize and makes these men court you and treat you properly is that your value, well, not your value, but rather withholding the goods is the main strategy that you've ever had as a woman, and it's for your benefit. So I'm curious to see if those women will be discussing the triumphs literally from the backlash of these ads and showing that women are choosing celibacy again. And I hope that those creators talk more about that than, like, I guess the negative, where it's like women, like, y'all are not being celibate, y'all are just hooking up with everybody. It's like, no, I think a lot of women never really was out here just going through multiple phases of, like, what men say is 304s or whatever. Like, I don't think that many women were like that engaged with it, maybe for a season, and then they got kind of bored and tired of it anyways. But I'm not gonna knock that. If that's your choice, that's your choice. I feel like as a woman, if you want to have that phase, I think women in general, all of us need that phase to really know what you like, what you don't like. Men do the same thing, and yeah, I know I'm gonna get, oh well, you're not a man, yeah, whatever, gonna be deleted in the comments. But I do think that just as a human being, you need to have, the more experience you have in anything that you have interest in general, the better you'll hone in on what you actually like and need and want. Because the main problem with dating a lot of the times is people go out there and they don't even know what they want. You put a person in front of someone that they actually dream to the stars and the heavens about, and then when he gets her, he's just like, what the fuck? I'm on a run. So I mean, the fact that Bumble would not focus on the psyche of men is appalling to me. Why are you focusing on women's strategies? And this goes back to the video I just did. We have so many rules over here that we have to do just to be safe on these apps, just to use the apps, okay, just to try to navigate and find somebody who is going to be our long-term spouse, only to have men who don't really have rules. They just have straight up game and strategies that they've been playing for like eons, literally. I mean, and there's never any focus on giving some of the rules, some discipline to how men and their methodology should work in the dating game. Talk to them about that. It's always talking to women about oh, your choice? Yeah, girl. No. That's irrelevant, or that's a waste of time. You need to do it this way, the way that serves men, so the men can serve you, which makes no fucking sense.
So we've got to talk about Bumble's new billboard. And it says, a vow of celibacy is not the answer. I think the switch that is happening is so freaking funny, because it used to be like, don't, like, girls can't have sex with anybody, or they're dirty, or they're sluts, or whatever. And now it's like, wait a minute, where are you? We can't sell our dating site. And then we wonder, right? Like, they wonder where the women are. But then you watch TikTok on Mother's Day, and there's thousands of women who are crying because their partner couldn't be bothered to get them a freaking card. You see the man or bear thing going on, and everyone's choosing bear, and nobody listens. That video went viral right around Valentine's Day, where that girl was like, if your partner, like if your boyfriend does not get you flowers for Valentine's Day, he hates you, because he sees 1,000 flowers smacking him in the face all the time, and he just decides actively not to purchase them for you. The lengths that women will go to explain the problems and what they want and what they need out of a partnership, to have it fall on deaf ears. And you wonder why they're not on Bumble. And like, I am very happily married. I had a very wonderful and appreciated Mother's Day. This sweatshirt that I wanted really bad came for me from my husband and my kid. So I am not speaking from experience here, but I can read, and I have ears, and I can listen and consume media and take that and understand what is happening here. Why can't they?
Ladies, y'all see what Bumble just tried to do with that new ad that they got, talk about the vow of celibacy is never the answer. Y'all see what they tried to do, right? They're calling you dumb. They're saying, we know y'all ladies not gonna stop using this app. We know y'all ladies want men, and y'all gonna give y'all bodies to men. They're calling your bluff, pretty much. We know y'all ladies not gonna join the 4B, where y'all have no sex, no marriage, no dating, or no kids with these men. They're calling your bluff. That ad was them calling our bluffs. They don't believe you. They don't believe that you will stop messing with them. They don't believe that you will stop having sex with them. They don't believe you. They're taunting you. That's the only thing that I could think every time I see that billboard pop up. They're taunting you. They don't believe you because you keep participating. You keep wanting to get married. You keep wanting to have a boyfriend. You keep wanting to have kids. You keep thinking about your dream wedding and picking out ring. So they don't believe you because they see your actions. They see that you are going against your best friend back for a guy. They see that in your friend group, all you do is talk about the guys. Y'all don't got nothing else to talk about in y'all friend groups besides guys. They see what y'all doing. They see the type of content you like of these fake couples acting like they really got something going on, and you in the comments saying, oh my God, I want that for me one day. They're calling your bluff because they see your actions. They see that regardless of what men are doing, the violence that's been going on with men and women, with men attacking women, the violence that men are enacting on children, not even the US and globally, they see you still want to find that Prince Charming that doesn't exist. You still think one day you're going to find some man who just doesn't exist. So they're calling your bluff. It's a call. It's a bluff. So let's show them what we really about, because they're calling our bluff. So show them.
Join my Patreon and you'll get to hear my extended. But I don't know if I'll make another video discussing that and my experience with that. But I shared my story time in my last video, and if you can't get the extended, then you can listen. I do put a small portion at the end of the video so you could kind of like lean into it and get a feel for what I'm talking about. But it's been the same thing that I've been like going through for like the last few years. And I remember I was telling my folks that I was going to focus on, you know, not necessarily trying to find like the one, but trying to just put myself out there again, and you know, just date, but not date with like, oh, we're going to become boyfriend girlfriend. And really, for me, I've never been a part of like hookup culture or anything like that, but I was considering it because, again, I just wanted to have experiences. I wanted to be able to, whether it goes good or bad, you know, I'm very logical and practical about relationships and love and stuff, and maintaining these relationships now, and knowing what it takes, and that it's not all just, you know, rose tinted glasses, you know what I mean? And so I just wanted to put myself out there and see where it could go with someone, and learn in the process, and they learn from me, whatever, you know, something like that. Not that serious, right? And it's like, as soon as I did that and I came across individuals that I actually liked, some were bold and they were, you know, initiating and complimenting me very, very beautifully and lavishly. And then you had some who were just kind of like, they want me to chase them, and that whole like when it got down to majority of the individuals that I actually did try to pursue, even that sentence, try to pursue, I shouldn't be trying to pursue anything. I should just be a normal adult communicating with a normal adult, and they are reciprocating. But I never had that. I also had like an impatience thing with one of the individuals. Like, if I keep telling you, like, after this date, that's when I'm going to be able to come through, and we can go out and whatever. He lost patience with that, thought he was being, I guess, what's the word? He thought that he was being played, and that there was a lack of interest. He missed out. But again, it came back to me being in this zone of, okay, Allicia, you have to be the one to get the communication back rolling, and you have to be the one to impress him and turn this whole thing around, and chase the chase. And you know, some people always consider that men have been arguably men have been the prize, because women will fight for, you know, him back in the day in the 1800s, you know, just to get married to him and be connected to his affluence and his wealth and his resources, So men have always been arguably this prize or something. The way that I see it, the way that I've seen it, and the way that I've been taught, and the things that I've heard, women have always been centered ultimately to be in the prize. Okay? And you know, some people like to just go ahead and iron it out. Both people are a prize. You have this man and his resources and things that he could do, and you have this woman and all the resources and things that she can do and bring to the relationship. People don't think like that nowadays. These apps have actually enforced men to feel so entitled, so centered. And I haven't really seen it now until I've listened to people discuss these billboards.
I want to talk about the Bumble Fumble with this ad. And just as someone who is 33 and single and has been on and off like all of the dating apps for almost 10 years now, Bumble has always been by far the worst one that I have had the least or used the least, because from the start, it positioned itself as like women in control. It's like the feminist app. Like, it was a direct response to Tinder. Whitney worked at Tinder. And so this was like, they've always positioned themselves as being like for women, while being the app that actually caters to men the most, and like the worst kind of men, because framing it as like, oh, women have the power to send the first message, blah, blah, blah. It led all the laziest men who don't want to put in any effort into dating, who want the women to come to them. They want the women to put in all the work to use Bumble, because it's like women on a platter for men. Oh, women are coming to me. Women are swiping on me. Women are messaging me first. I'm like, they feel like the belle of the ball on Bumble. And it's for that reason that I've always hated it, because it's like, it was just like the worst men on there. And Bumble, out of all of the dating apps, always made my self-esteem the lowest, because of the amount of men who clearly just swipe right on everyone and wait for the first messages to roll in, and then they look at your profile and like see if they actually like you or not, and often like will unmatch you or not respond at all and just completely waste your time. So I've always hated Bumble, but now you add in the fact that they go through this whole rebrand, and I also work in marketing, and so I was actually really interested in their rebrand. They caught my attention with their build-up. I was actually really excited. I was like, maybe now with their new CEO, they're going to finally like get their act together, like really, do something different to change the game of dating apps. And instead, all they did was change it so that men can also send the first message, which they still don't, because like I said, it's been years of them expecting women to message first. And instead of their marketing being garnered towards men, which I think as a marketer, that's what I would have done. I would have made it my marketing campaign towards the men and be like, it's your turn to message first, like your turn to put in the work, like let's make these dating apps work. And instead they're releasing ads like this of like, a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Making women who have abstained from sex, like, which there is a documented rising movement of women like being tired of getting treated like shit by men from dating apps. I, in the past year, like, was ghosted 3 times by 3 men that I chose to sleep with after a certain amount of time. And it made me feel like complete shit. And I now am at the point where I don't want to sleep with a man until I really feel like we're committed to each other, and, like, I just feel like I won't get ghosted and like made to feel like complete shit about myself. And so punishing women like me who have been on dating apps for a really long time, trying to find a partner who's going to put in the work, trying to find someone who will make an effort and make the first move. And then to go through this entire rebrand where it's supposed to change the whole game, and all you did was like make it so men can match or can message first, which they don't do. I actually downloaded the app to like see, if anything had changed. Nope. They don't message first. They don't answer. The app is the exact same. And then you're putting out ads like punishing women for like wanting to protect themselves and protect their peace. I mean, I'm truly just like so outraged at this entire thing. And this isn't even the worst ad. The other ad with the black woman as the photo, where it says, full well, like, are you kidding me? Like, literally, I read in an article that this whole campaign was done with their in-house team. And again, as a marketer, it just shows like sometimes you guys are way too in deep into your own brands to understand like how a message will come across. But like using AAVE to promote this message as if dating isn't going well because of women being celibate and like choosing to protect themselves is truly the worst idea of a rebrand I've ever heard. And I won't stand for it. I deleted the app as soon as I saw this ad, and I will never return to Bumble. I literally don't care what kind of apology they put out, if they even do. I think it's over for Bumble. Bumble fumbled. So, ladies, keep doing your thing. It's working, and we're not going to let apps bully us into, getting back on and not protecting ourselves. So keep it up.
It is because of these dating apps. We've known that the dating apps have done a lot of horrendous things for humanity and social media and the internet in general. But I didn't really get to the understanding that these dating apps have completely put it in men's mind that they are arguably on the top shelf. Bitch, they're the prize in their mind. They are the alpha, omega. They are all of them betas. They all of them. All right, beta. They they are all of them, and they're like the house, the home, the fucking cat, dog, picket fence, and a bag of chips, bitch. They're everything, and they expect women to just line up. Especially the men who are the most probably attractive, and I've heard this from other men. Beta. I'm kidding. I need to stop. I've heard this from other men that aren't the top attractive men say that all the women are lining up for shooting their shot with the top of the crop. And I would say that it's the same thing vice versa. Women, the top crop women are, we get most of the attention or so online, or something like that, right? The most conventionally attractive women are always going to get the most attention. That's how it's always been for us. But now that we have men who can kind of hate to say like men who could kind of act more so in like this more feminine operating mindset, now they want to be on camera. Now they are like, oh, I could do that same thing too, and they are showing themselves off and getting all of the praises and so on these apps, we know that these apps and the algorithm of these apps have men and women, the cream of the crop. They will show you that in the beginning, soon as you get on there, and most of these people like swipe. Do I want to put my number out there? I don't want to put my number out there like that, but I am one of those people who get on the app, and even if I don't pay for any features or nothing like that, I get on the app, I try to make a decent profile, thinking that I'm gonna meet a person, that I'm gonna have this like untraditional, unpredictable love story, I guess, very cliche, that some people say they get on there and they meet their person or whatever. I do that, and within like a matter of like a day or so, I get tons and tons of like swipes, tons of them. And when I start swiping, the first couple of people are like, wow, and then the more I start like swiping, really, no, it's like a no. The more I start swiping, it's definitely like no. And if you have the more attractive men, when they come across my profile, they probably already had found because there's so many girls attracted to him, he's probably already found like his top 3. That's all he needs. So he's probably already off the app. Versus me, I'm on the app, and they show me, unless I pay, they're gonna show me maybe like, a small handful of men who got their shit together, working, seem friendly, beautiful, beautiful, I'm just gonna say above basic type, and attractive. They're only gonna show me like 4 of them, and the rest of them, I swear, are like, who the fuck is who set up this algorithm? who thinks that this is cool, and it's to keep you on there swiping and swiping and swiping. And I feel like as a woman at this point, yes, we're doing all of the work here. We've been doing it for centuries, but we're doing all of the work here. Certain things that I miss about certain eras was that when a man did like a woman, he had to really come out of himself. He had to really, he didn't expect to be chased, and he felt like, if I don't take the opportunity on this woman in front of me, it's over. Like, my whole life, my whole legacy, my whole estate, my whole like maturity in life, and growing, and all of that is on stake if I don't pick this woman right here, right now. So many of them are like, I don't want to settle, I don't want to do this, that, until, a little bit older. And then in the same breath, they will be like, well, my grandparents, and they get a little bit older, and they see that they're not really holding down any relationship, and be the first to be like, well, my grandparents, they got married when they were like 20, 21. And it's like, well, when you were 20, you were 21, girl, you were saying you didn't want to settle, you had more time. So you can't really, I don't know. It's interesting. It is very interesting. Let's talk about the AAVE situation. Now, the whole, full goddamn well, parenthesis, that full goddamn well that your ass shouldn't be talking about no celibacy. That's what it should have said. But the fact that they put that,
Bumble has all of these new billboards condemning women for taking a break.
Go back and watch her video and you'll see that there are 2 billboards for Bumble's new advertisement. One where there's a racially ambiguous woman and it says, a vow of celibacy is never the answer. And then there's a billboard with an obviously black woman on it and it says, full well a vow of celibacy is never the answer. The whole campaign is bullshit, but even in the bullshit campaign, they found a way to make it more bullshit for black women. I think they're preying on what they think is a weakness of like the tropes of single black women or the struggles of single black women, or even statistically, like black women not getting married at as high rates as other races and things like that. And they're trying to prey on what they think are black women's fears. Full well celibacy is not the answer. I know there was a black person on the marketing team and you should be ashamed.
Like I said, it's appalling. All this stuff is appalling. The stuff that I'm seeing, and stuff like the 4B movement and things like that, it must be working, and it must be doing what it's supposed to do. If everybody is freaking out because we told all the women throughout all the time, like, oh, if you have high numbers and you do this and you're doing that and da 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 la 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 la, you're undateable, you're not to be married, you're a slut, you're a hoe, women became the sluts and the hoes. And I would say that the toxic feminism, I think, is what some people would call it. That era didn't really help, but at least we've come to realize why it didn't help, right? So you have to make mistakes to know what needs to be done and improved. So we didn't went through the little whoop-de-doop, right? And from the look of it, now we're reverting back to what they say is proper and dateable and demure. And somehow that too is now wrong. It's just like you can't do anything right really as a woman. And I don't know what you're supposed to do right as a woman. You know, that's why I say you're given all of the rules, and the other party who has never had any rules, and now they're being completely forced to calibrate, learn some fucking rules, get some therapy, get get some help. Learn what an actual partnership takes, because it takes out of you and somebody else, and stop listening to men preach toxic masculinity and misogyny as male improvement, because they are really leading y'all down to this lonely fucking highway. Okay, you gonna find love? You probably not gonna find love on the lonely highway. You just gonna be by yourself. Period. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna tell you what this looks like to me. This looks like whoever holds stake in the company, whoever holds stake in the company, let's just say it like that, whoever holds stake in the company and the investing into it, they obviously have a certain political agenda that is more extreme, okay? And the way that they look at things is very male-centered, and they are prioritizing that, and they're prioritizing probably, they're one of those people who are so worried about, population and stuff like that. Even though there are plenty of people that are still effing, people are still gonna F and have kids. So I don't get it, don't really care, but not all women are in the phase of where some women are, so you're always going to have women who are getting pregnant, and you're always going to have men who are getting pregnant, and like, I wish they would just stop with that. Like, the whole world is going to go extinct or something because certain people decide that that's not the lifestyle for them this lifetime. So let it go. Don't get mad at Gen Z, don't get mad at millennials. Instead, maybe try to incentivize and teach both sexes. At least if you're going to come from one sex, come for the other one, and tell them how they can also make psychological improvements, therapy, things like that, to really enrich a partnership, instead of just tell people, oh, this app, you could just get on this app, do some effing, and you gonna meet somebody. Stop telling people, like, at first the app was to be helpful of women, make it more easy, making the first move, and being able to really find, I guess, single down on the type of man that she wants to be with. However, like I said, I think this has just made men go, if I look great, I smell great, if I make myself into the top 10-30% of attractiveness on the app, I'm good to go. And all I have to do is, pretend that I'm interested, and kinda, I'll have all of the emotional pouring into me, all the emotional effort and time of this woman, and just to stroke my ego, I could go on dates, I could do stuff with her just to tell other people that I'm dating, I'm doing stuff, and then, take her, F her, never talk to her again. That's it.
If it feels to you like we are in the midst of a dating revolution across the world, It's because we are, and here's my theory about why. See, online dating is a very new thing in the grand scheme of things. The first online dating site was actually Match.com, and it came out in 1995. That's 30 years next year. Not even 30 years old, online dating. And apps are a totally different story. I believe Grindr was actually the first dedicated app to launch in 2009. All the others were web platforms that then became apps. We can get so myopic about some of these things where we're like, dating is broken, but that's actually what humans do. We make something new and then we push it and we push it and we poke it and we prod it and we experiment with it. And I'm not actually saying that's a bad thing. That's just how we work. We're very imaginative and experimental species. So I think what we did with dating was we were like, what if we went away from classified ads, which is what we did back in the day before apps and websites came out, and we put this into this new internet thing and we just push the boundaries of it. And I bet you with technology, it will make something as nebulous as love so much easier for all of us. So what we are seeing now, in my opinion, is the product of pushing and prodding, stretching and breaking and snapping and bending and cracking this experiment that is online dating, digital dating, and incorporating technology into love. Now, here's the thing. What we're all realizing is because love is so nebulous and because chemistry is so ethereal and hard to pin down, there is no number of algorithms or questionnaires that can actually lead us to pinpointing the exact special sauce for everyone to be able to find what they're looking for. But actually what we're realizing is we feel so empty these days, and I'm gonna speak for a lot of us. This isn't everyone, but we're all feeling so empty and lonely because capitalism has stripped us of community. It has stripped us of this fulfilling idea of coming together, having a village. And now we're trying to strip love out of the equation with intimacy. There's no intimacy or commitment or devotion in these things. It all leads to this same rigmarole of soulless, vacuous, physical touch. So I think what we're seeing now is through our own discomfort, we're trying to find a new way forward with dating. And I think we're onto something here by disposing of these apps and seeking intimate connections in different ways. So maybe we just go back to the old ways, maybe we form a new way, but certainly this is the death of this little experiment that we have all sort of deemed unsuccessful.
Okay, I just have to say, I've just been seeing so many videos of women commenting on this horrible new Bumble ad. I believe the billboards are in LA right now saying that the answer is not celibacy. And whether you choose to be celibate or not, whether you choose to date on dating apps or not, coming after the women, and then if you haven't seen the billboard, just type it into the search bar, you'll go find it really quickly. But even the pictures of the women who are just like the worst women to choose for this ad, because it's like, why are you choosing certain demographics, first of all? Second of all, their mouths aren't shown, or they're covering their mouths, which, like, what? So not only are you taking away our voices, you're forcing us back on dating apps, forcing, from what I heard, just insane prices for these dating apps. And yeah, a vow of celibacy. And I think one of the verbiage is what was it? It was like, you well know, it was something like a grandma term, like someone scolding you, like, you sure as well know that celibacy is not the answer. And I'm just like, if you're trying to get us women on your side, you just lost all of us. And this whole 4B movement, I think, is fascinating, and, you know, power to the women who choose to go with it. There are days / permanent moments where I'm like, I think I may join. But regardless, this ad by Bumble, like, especially when they were originally created by a woman, I believe, and her whole shtick was creating a safer dating environment where they monitor the messaging and this, that, and the other. And we all know from being on these dating apps that these are horrible back and forth conversations. And the first dates, don't get me even started. I've stopped with all that ages ago. But And then this whole nice guy, like, it's all a front. They're just acting. They should all have different careers. Instead of finance and God knows what, they should be in theater. But anyway, long story short, getting back to the original purpose of this kind of random TikTok, this is not my usual Archie. Archie's like, I'm the only man in your life. And this is true. But my point is, come on, Bumble. There had to have been one person on that advertising team that was like, could we take a step back?
You know, I talked about the concept of like the appearing like you have all of these choices. The fact that you have all these choices, you'll never be content and always looking for the next big thing. That's the red shiny car effect. I remember I was talking to a guy I really liked, and he said something similar to that, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I really just think that that's like, I hate to generalize it, but I think that's how men are, really. And because women are talking about all of these things, like how they get treated on Mother's Day, how they get treated as a mother in general, how they get treated as a wife, and the duties and things, and you on call or something. Like, let's say you're a doctor or something and you're on call. I'll never forget that lady. She said she came home and the dishes, everything was like messed up. And he couldn't even like keep the house together, you know. It's, and for you to question as a whole effing corporate entity why women are making these decisions the way that they are, it screams at nothing but tone deaf males sat at a table and said, even if the marketing team said this would come out the wrong way, because those investors and stakeholders were mostly tone deaf males that say, oh, you know, you gotta have a legacy and keep the country going, and you know, that toxic masculinity, like patriarchal nonsense, they said, you gonna use this ad. That's what we want, because we want to end the lonely male epidemic. That's what we want more than anything. We want people out here effing and making babies. That's all that matters right now. Not the fact that there's so many things going on within the country to where people can't even support having a family anymore, like buying a house for my family, feeding them properly, and having a job to make both my spouse and my kids live a comfortable life. Oh no, that's not important. What's important is effing making babies. That's it. And that's what our app stands for. That's literally what they sat at the table and did. And I'm glad that a lot of people are seeing it for what it is and calling them out on it. But yeah, I don't get why you target black women. You put a light skinned kind of black woman, I guess black, light skinned black woman, you put her on there, and her like Gen Z looking self, color hair and all that kind of stuff, you know, you put her on there, and you're like, with the AAVE, trying to, you know, really poke at, you know, marketing it is slightly sinister. I'm not gonna lie, it is a sinister job in a way, but you're slightly poking at the insecurities of the buyer, and that's mostly what business is about anyways, are providing a crucial need, making this person feel so insecure without having this need in their lives. And guess what women are saying, whether they're black, white, Asian, girl, you could pull anybody and put them on that ad, but you put black women. But even black women are saying, yeah, I'm not insecure about being alone. I'm not insecure about, you know, not finding a dude to lay up with and waste my time. I'm actually living a great life, and I don't have no kids right now, and I'm doing just fine. So no, thank you. I will stay celibate. If you choose to stay celibate, okay, I just want to make it clear about the celibate thing for a little bit. if you choose to stay celibate, all right, I would recommend staying. I don't know what your rule is. Like, I don't really know, like, what the difference between abstinence and celibacy. Okay, well, all I'm gonna say is, if you choose to not be intimate with anyone, I wouldn't have a certain number in mind. I would just stay as celibate as long as possible, okay, until you get married. At this point, because men and the stuff that they're listening to and regurgitating, and the treatment that they put out there amongst their women and their children, you want to know that you have a man who has a certain type of mindset, a certain type of discipline in his head, a certain type of loyalty that he'll be able to contribute to the relationship. And you know, how much does he really care about you and feel about you, you know? You want to know these things before you just really even do it anymore. And I'm just saying that if that is your strategy as a woman, it doesn't have to be, but I'm just saying I think that that's the best way to go. I just think that that's the best way to go, because there's no way to try to put all of these rules, all of these, like, what you're gonna do to, like, find your husband. Like, don't even sweat it. Don't sweat any of that shit. You really just need to meet a decent human being, be celibate, respect them, they respect you, they understand that they are the natural pursuer, and they reciprocate that, and they have healthy communication, they're getting their therapy, they're doing their homework on themselves, and they're a joy to be around, they're fulfilling to be around, they make you feel better as a person, you make them feel better as a person, y'all both feel good together and look good together. That's the basic necessities, really. Like, that's the baseline. And we're all about getting this money. We both got some type of stability on our own. That's really the only thing that matters at this point. All of these rules, all this game BS, and oh, you gotta do this and oh, you gotta do that, and da, da, da. Screw F all of it. And they are so upset that women have said, I'm just not participating in that type of situation. Women have said, I'm not, you know what, girl, like, I'm just gonna be passive over here. Like, it's not even passive protesting, it's passive, like, it's really just like, nope, leave me the fuck alone. I'm over here, I'm gonna be over here, I'm gonna be doing my own thing and thriving. And and the fact that that is such a problem that you have to make an ad about it, you're letting us know that we're winning. Stupid. You're letting women know that, wow, wait, he's the false prize? And what I'm doing is working, because you're losing your sales, and you're breaking your bank and marketing and trying to, I don't know, bring on some type of agenda, because you need some money, bitch, and the money was coming from us, right? I don't know much about the relaunching of Bumble, but apparently they were trying to relaunch, do things differently. I wouldn't know, because my frustration with meeting and dating someone that I actually felt like was worth it and my level, every time I did dating apps, I never had any success. The conversations was always a little bit dull and flat, and some were even aggressive, and I would download it, and the only thing that it would provide is my assurance of not feeling like there's something wrong with me, that I'm not finding a person. Because if I know that I could pull that many swipes, and I just barely gave it a shot and tried and opened it up. That for both men and women, that's like an ego boost, let you know that, it's not really wrong with you. It kind of gives you a confidence that, okay, I can still find a person and go out there, and I go out here, every day or so, whatever, and that to the opposite sex, I am pretty high on the list. That's really all that those apps have provided. Let me see if I could find the statement from the CEO, and yeah. To think that this was supposed to be one of the apps that helps with the frustration of dating and be geared away from hookup culture. One of the apps that you would more so go to in hopes to find a suitable date, and this is what they pull, y'all. This is how these people really see us. We just walking around with money signs on our head. So the CEO, Whitney, decided to respond, and she said women's experiences are at the center of what we do at Bumble. Not really, because you are not evaluating the frustrations. This ad is for the frustration of dating, they claim. This is the response. Well, you're obviously not really researching or looking at any of the frustrations of dating. You're obviously looking at these movements and things happening, but you're not looking at why people are taking on the movements. As part of our recent marketing campaign, we included an ad with language around celibacy as response to the frustration of dating. Language around celibacy. I don't really understand what you mean language. If anything, you tried to use language to appear to black women and, like, I guess Gen Z audience to make it more cool or something. We have heard the concerns shared about the ad's language and understands that rather than highlighting a current sentiment towards dating, it may have had a negative impact on some of our community. A negative impact on some of our community. How is it? So if men are just having, all the sex in the world, that's not a negative impact on them, huh? The fact that they see themselves as like the ultimate and that we have to pursue them, that's not a negative impact on them. It's just some of our community, huh? Yeah. Both parties. This is a negative impact on both parties, and if you can't see that, then that's the problem. This was not our intention, and we are in the process of removing it from our marketing campaign, and we'll continue to listen to the feedback from our members. I don't think you're going to be having any feedback from members because everybody is just deleting. They're deciding to delete. So the only feedback you're going to get is from those that you actually see the center of dating, which is men. You're still going to have men on there, and maybe they can give you extra feedback. I don't know what this was not our intention. Well, what was your intention? What was the intention? The frustrations of dating had nothing to do with people not being able to hook up. I mean, plenty of sex, mindless sex. So there's no frustration. Who's getting frustrated? And if you ask me, if the people who are getting frustrated with, just being hooked up with and ghosted with, how are you going to tell them that celibacy doesn't work, doesn't help, isn't respecting yourself, reevaluating things about the dating world and what you're going to do and stuff. So, you know, you didn't have to go after celibacy. Or maybe go after, like, I don't know, sitting in your house and expecting to find love, or depending on things like that, by chance you're going to find love. You could have focused on that, because there's a lot of people who think like that are lonely, that don't really want to get up, go out and do things. You could have focused on that, but instead, celibacy. Celibacy is the issue to your loneliness. And for y'all to have the utter audacity to see that women are getting hit, women are getting like punched on and things like that, and what the men do when they go to these forums and places and they talk about their frustrations with dating, and that shit turns into violence.
This is for the advertising and marketing director over at Bumble, the dating app. If you're not that, you can keep scrolling. Bumble, count your days. You really have billboards all over the city talking about a vow of celibacy is not the answer. So what is the answer? Giving it up to raggedy, undeserving men? At two Bumble? We've already been bombarded with people saying there's a male loneliness epidemic. They're tired of waiting on you to heal. They're going to start putting their hands on you because they're getting frustrated. So now we have all of this pressure from the news media, from society, from the patriarchy, from every direction telling us, just give it up, stop fighting, give the men what they want. And y'all are doing it too? At two Bumble? Y'all are just as raggedy as the men you're trying to shove down these women's throats. You got men on here talking about, ladies, some of y'all are going to have to settle. No. For the men out there who refuse to get their lives together to make themselves worthy catches for these women, but still want you to settle for them, no. To Bumble, trying to guilt trip and manipulate women into settle for these raggedy men, no. Y'all make that bear look better and better every day. For y'all to be an app that's all about women making the first move, and now you're telling the women what move to make? Who came up with this idea? Who greenlit this campaign? I bet it was a man.
And then they have the audacity to get on TikTok and make it a joke about a violent world. A world where they're going to use their violence as a means to control sexual advances. And you want to come for the people who talking about celibacy? Yo, no. Nah, y'all got it all the way. No. Like, you can't even see that? That's not an importance. Maybe making banners talking about, hey, you know, no violence, no rape, maybe a banner that's talking about, like, hey, being very gentle amongst women that you come across and you choose to date. Violence is not the answer to getting laid. Oh, wow. The getting laid part doesn't really make it better, but I'm just saying that's one step in the right direction. But no, you celibates out here, no. It may have led to a negative impact. What do you mean it may have led? It did. You offended people. You offended women. You looked over their experiences, which you said you want to focus. Your company it centers women experiences, and the fact that you looked over women's experiences. Yeah, even the statement, even the statement by the spokesperson of Bumble is giving tone, just tone deaf. You don't. Yeah, they're about to. I don't think this is just Bumble that's about to really, like, suffer, and I think all these dating apps are literally about to. You're either gonna have to step it up, and they're talking about something about AI, using AI with Bumble, but girl, that's gonna be like more money and more just stupidness. and only the attractive people are going to match with the attractive people at that point, or the cream of the crop is just going to match with the cream of the crop because the AI is going to be like, oh yeah, y'all said the same thing, y'all look the same, boom, here you go. Like, you should have been did that shit. You should have been had something that could point out this person seems like they're on the same level as this person. Making people take actual, like, I don't know, quizzes or something every time they get on the app that kind of can gauge what their personality is. Have they done a personality test? Are you a, what, ENFP or INFP? Like, you should have been had all that. So that lets us know that your app, you are relying on just hookup culture, and you're just painting it as something else. Wow. Yeah, quite disappointing in Bumble. Even though I didn't use it, didn't get anything out of it. Tried to use it for the BFF or the business feature, but really when it comes to apps, I've been decided to not use the dating apps. I guess like 3 years ago, so I was just over it. I was over it. So I hope that this lets those who do use the app, that are consumers, really think about where you're putting your money into. I also said that in one of my last videos. Be careful of where you put, whose hand you're putting the money into, because sometimes the more that the company grows, they don't really have you in mind at all. Your needs, your values, they will tell you that. They will put on that they care about your experiences, but they really don't. So I hope this is a wake-up call for women and men who are at that level, to not want to use Bumble either. Because I just see that there are a few men who understand why it's fucking weird. They're probably not the type to even want to use apps or got annoyed with it as well. So, I mean, all these paying and for extra features, and they talking about you got to pay just to compliment a dude. I want to say another word, but I'm trying not to say that. The ninja. I'm trying not to say that, but you gotta pay just to compliment a ninja, girl. No. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Will you be using Bumble? Will you be using dating apps? Do you think that it's going to be a crucial time in the country, and just changing up, how the dating, all of this dating nonsense is going on? Do you think that dating apps will become a thing of the past? Because really it's nothing but like, it's nothing but people who are complete losers, are just naive, don't really watch trends and news, and they've been under a rock. It's only going to be those people who use these things still. So at least that's what I'm thinking the trajectory is going. But comment, like, subscribe, tell me what trajectory you think this is going in, and I'll catch you on the next one.